Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Nexbridge Hydrocarbons and the S1 being released, and also news of 40 million shares being offered for sale. And we're also going to be looking at the SMCI dip, as well as looking at ticker symbol BOF, which was called in the Discord earlier today and was up 145% on the day. And then also we're going to try and catch NVIDIA earnings, which I think is going to be hugely significant for the whole market. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So we can see first of all here, confirmed by CNBC, stocks today have fallen quite significantly as major NVIDIA earnings loom. So the market does seem to be relying on NVIDIA, and from Market Watch we can see that NVIDIA is starting to look a lot like the next Apple, and this is from the point of view of AI. And another post here from Meta News with regard to the New York Post. We can see a headline here: ex-Peloton CEO John Foley gets real about the company crash and his unexpected venture into home decor. So basically the shares went from around about $170 to $2 per share, and obviously he's lost a significantly large amount of money there, so certainly not happy. And let's now have a look at the dip in SMCI. So again, this was called in our stock dip alerts channel, and at one point it was trading close to $400. I do believe it's going to possibly go down as low as $380, but let's see. Possibly a good buying opportunity here, but we can see here from Quiver Quantitative it's fallen 35% after being accused of accounting fraud, and I would perceive that as a short attack. And obviously there was also news of insider selling. The other bad news with regard to SMCI is they also delayed the 10Q filing for 2024. So let's now move on to have a look at MMTLP and the S1. Before we look at the S1, I am able to share with you breaking news, and that is NVIDIA have just reported earnings right now at time of editing. Earnings per share of 68 cents, beating the expectation of 64 cents, and the revenue of $30 billion, beating expectations of $28.7 billion. So hopefully the market's turned green. However, I think there were some figures with regard to future guidance, which we're going to look at carefully, that may not have the positive impact that we may have expected. But let's move on now to have a look at Nexbridge Hydrocarbons and the S1. And what I posted earlier is that the company issued their amended S1. The company have stated that we are offering directly to selected accredited investors up to 40 million shares of common stock. So we're going to delve into this now. But what Bruce has stated is he hopes that some of those accredited investors are brokers desperately looking to close out their short positions. And obviously I would follow that on by saying they will be paying the true value that they should have paid on the days that were denied to us in terms of the 2 days of trading. So we can see here the amendment version 4, Form S1, issued now from Nexbridge Hydrocarbons. So remember, this is still not yet effective. So that's the key that we want. So let's delve into it. So we can see at the top, it's still subject to completion for, and this is dated August the 27th, 2024. So that's the breaking news. And we can see here, in terms of the 40 million shares of common stock, they're offering this to accredited investors, and they've engaged Roth Capital to act as the placement agent. The agent will have no obligation to buy the shares, but they've agreed to pay the agent 5% of any proceeds from the sale. And obviously any common stock that with regard to this is not going to be traded publicly and is not eligible for electronic transfer through through the DTC. So that's the first thing in terms of the key headline. And now if we move on to look at some of the important things here in terms of a reminder of the company. They're incorporated initially as oil coal, and now obviously they are known as NextBridge Hydrocarbons. So that's just a little bit of the background. And if we move on in terms of the offering, so overall now we're looking at 251.93 million shares of common stock, and that will move on, you could say, to increase at just in excess of 291.93 million shares of common stock. So this is going to be based on obviously the increase of the 40 million that is now this offering, and they've stated here they expect to use the funds from this offering for items such as drilling, exploration activities, to meet the drilling observation obligations, general corporate purposes, and that includes funding, working capital and operating expenses. So we'll be looking at that in a little bit more detail shortly here. So let's now move on now to what they have stated in terms of how they are going to use these proceeds. But in addition to what we've just seen here, we have not determined the amount we plan on various categories for operation and capital needs at times of these expenditures, and the management will have broad discretion to allocate the net proceeds of these offerings as they believe. Is that the offering bears no relationship whatsoever on the assets, earnings, book value or other criteria of value amongst the factors they have considered. These include the cash requirements, the lack of operating history, and also the amount of capital to be contributed by the purchasers of the offering. So let's move on to have a look at certain relationships. So this basically is identifying Greg McCabe as the significant shareholder, and just to confirm, as of August 2nd 2024 he will have 27.4% of the company, as in the largest shareholders. So if we have a look at here at the plan of distribution, we can see here Roth Capital Partners LLC have agreed to act as the placement agent in connection with the offering, and they've agreed to pay the placement agent an aggregate cash fee of 5%, as well as obviously the shares that we've just identified, and they also agreed to reimburse all out-of-pocket expenses, but there will be a maximum of $150,000. So let's now move on to have a look at the actual signatures at the end, and we can see again this was signed by Greg McCabe on behalf of NextBridge Hydrocarbons as a chief executive on August the 27th. What Don Fizzer stated here is he'll get excited when he sees the words notice of effectiveness. So I think that is basically replicating what almost every single investor also feels, that it is still not effective, so it's not important yet, so that's what we need. But in terms of a concern, Paul T has stated it's not good because it's further dilution. And he states here, some are saying that this is a trap which will provide MMTLP a resolution. I wish somebody would enlighten me as to how the S1 would do just that. So first of all, I believe it depends on how much they sell each of the shares for, who they sell them to, and how they use that money. So remember, they have stated that the management have at their own discretion how they use those proceeds. Obviously the priority is drilling, exploration, having cash flow for the company. That is most important factor first. Then after that, I think we have to see if there is sufficient funds left for the investors. But what Gray has stated, it's not a trap, it's simply a way to capitalise NextBridge Hydrocarbons. Shareholders are protected. Doing that can lead to shareholder monetisation and a route through increased marketable company value. So that is what we need. So a good point there from Gray. And from 100% Citizen Phantom, we can see here that he's tagged in Trade Zero and Mark Basile, and both of them have stated, or should say Mark reposted Trade Zero's post which stated these people can't read filings, there won't be an S1. So I think Trade Zero, over to you. Looks like you're the person that cannot read filings. And finally, what we're going to do now is move on to have a look at the other stock that we called in the Discord. And I'm going to finish off by having a look at ticker and BOF. So there was news in this shared in our stock news channel in the pre-market, and at that time it was trading at just over 60 cents. And the news here, we can see the BranchOut Food delivers shareholder update and revenue surges. So let's have a look at the news, and we can see here from Stock Titan, the news with regard to the company is that their revenue has surged 640% in the first half, poised for continued growth and debt elimination by the fourth quarter 2025. So let's have a look at a reaction to the market in terms of the chart. We can see here right now it was trading early in the pre-market below 70 cents and close to 60 cents, and at one market open it hit $1.20, did dip down to $1, and I think at close of market it is up by in excess of 145%. Again, congratulations to everybody who got in at BOF. And if you would like to get more breaking news as well as a copy of our daily stock alerts as well as the weekly watch list, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.